Hare Krishna, dear devotees, Dandavat Pranam. Please accept my humble obeisances at your lotus feet. Vanchakalpatarubhyascha kripasindhubhyevacha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Hare Krishna, Hare Bol to Ramchandra Prabhu, Vishwanath Prabhu, Pandit Shivas Prabhu for leading the chanting this morning. Alright, we'll continue with our Mangalacharan, Bhajan and then reading. Om Jnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshuranmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swaminati Namine. Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatyadesh Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaur Bhaktivinoda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. Welcome everybody. Okay, we are continuing with our prayer of the week. These prayers are wonderful benediction by our acharyas. So by reciting these prayers, this is a limb of bhakti, right? Out of the 9 Navadal bhakti, this is Vandanam, where we offer our prayers. And what prayers can we offer? We don't know anything. So our wonderful acharyas, our Guru Parampara have given us these beautiful prayers that we can just repeat these prayers. And by repeating these prayers, we can become perfect in our journey of Krishna consciousness. Okay, so this week, our prayer of the week is Gaurangira Dhutipada by Shanaruttam Das Thakur from his wonderful book called Prarthana, a compilation of 50 plus prayers. Okay, anybody would like to sing today? The melody of Vrindavana Ramya Sthanam. Yes, nobody so far?
Okay. Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, I can try.
Mataji, Hari Bol. Yes, please.
Already apologizing for any mistakes. So.
No, go ahead.
Gaurangira Dhutipada Jaradhana Sampada Se Jane Bhagati Rasasar Gaurangira Madhur Leela Jara Karne Prave Sheila Gaurangira Madhur Leela Jara Karne Praveshila Hridayo Nirmala Bhelotar Hridayo Nirmala Bhelotar Je Gaurangira Namaloe Tara Hoe Premodoe Tare Moi Jaye Bolihar Tare Moi Jaye Bolihari Gauranga Gunite Chure Nitya Lila Tare Spure Gauranga Gunite Chure Nitya Lila Tare Spure Si Jana Bhagati Adhikari Se Jane Bhagati Adhikari Gaurangira Sangi Gane Nitya Siddha Kuri Mane Gaurangira Sangi Gane Nitya Siddha Kuri Mane Se Jai Brajendra Sutapas Se Jai Brajendra Sutapas Shri Goda Mandala Bhumi Jai Bajani Chintamani Shri Goda Mandala Bhumi Je Bajane Chinta Mani Tara Hoy Braja Bhume Bas तारा होय ब्रजमा भूमि बास गौर प्रेम रसानवे सीता रंगे जीवा दुबे गौर प्रेम रसानवे सीता रंगे जीवा दुबे श्री राधा माधव अंतरंग श्री राधा माधव अंतरंग गृहे भवानी ते ठाके हा गौरंगा बोले जाके गृह भवानी ते ठाके हा गौरंगा बोले जाके नरोत्तम मांगे तारा संग नरोत्तम मांगे तारा संग हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे Thank you, Prabhuji.
Haribo. Thank you, Meena Mataji. Shri Pratana ki jai, Gauram Giridhati Pad ki jai, Shri Narottam Das Thakur ki jai, Jagat Guru Shri Prabhupada ki jai. Very nicely sung. Thank you so much. There were no mistakes, absolutely. Okay, so now we'll read. We'll be reading the translation, but there is a nice purport that Shri Prabhupada has given on this bhajan. Anybody would like to read the purport? If not, then I can
Hare
read.
Krishna.
Yes, Aarti
Hare
Mataji.
Krishna, Prabhuji.
Yes. Go ahead, Mataji. Yeah.
Ji. Gaurangir Dutipada Yaradhana Sampada Sejan Bhakti Rasasara. This is another song composed by Narottam Das Thakur, and he says that one who has accepted the lotus feet of Lord Chaitanya, in other words, one who has the only asset of possession, the 2 feet of Lord Chaitanya, such person is supposed to know what is the essence of devotional service. Say Jana Bhakti Ras Sara. What is the purport of devotional service? Or what is the humor of devotional service can be understood by a person who has accepted Lord Chaitanya's lotus feet as everything. The idea is that actually Lord Chaitanya, he is Krishna himself, and he is teaching devotional service to the living entities personally, directly. Therefore, the modes of devotional service as taught by Lord Chaitanya is the most perfect. There cannot be any doubt. The expert or the master is teaching the servant how to work. If somebody is master of some engineering work and he's personally teaching some assistant, that teaching instruction is most perfect. Similarly, Lord Krishna himself, in the role of a devotee, is teaching devotional service. Therefore, the path chalked out by Lord Krishna is the most visible way for perfection to devotional service. Say Jana Bhakti Ras Sara means essence.
Sar,
And then
Mataji, Sar. That is Sar. Hindi में बोलते हैं ना Sar. Not Sar.
Ji
Sar.
Ji
Sar.
Sar.
Hmm.
Thank you, Prabhuji. And then he says Gaurangir Madhuri Lila Yara Karne Parveshila. Now he comes to the pastimes of Lord Chaitanya. He says that Lord Chaitanya's pastime are also as much transcendental as Lord Krishna's. As in the Bhagavad Gita, it is said that anyone who can simply understand the transcendental appearance, disappearance, activities, work of Krishna immediately becomes eligible to enter into the kingdom of God simply by understanding the pastimes and the work, transcendental activities of Krishna. Similarly, one who enters into the pastime of Lord Chaitanya immediately becomes free from all contaminations of the heart. Gaurangir Madhuri Leela Yarap Karne Pravishila. Karne Pravishila means simply one has to receive the message of Lord Chaitanya. Karne means the in the ear. To give the message a submissive oral reception, then immediately one's heart becomes freed from all material contamination. Then he says, Yai Ghoranger Namalaya Tara Haya Premodaya. Now the devotees are concerned how to develop love of Godhead. Narottam Das Thakur recommends that anyone who simply chants Sri Krishna Chaitanya, Prabhu Nityananda, Gauranga means with all this paraphernalia, as soon as we speak of Gauranga, we should mean the five Lord Nityananda, Advait Gadadhar, and Srivasa all together. So, Yei Gaurangir, Namalaya, anyone who chants, immediately he will develop love of Godhead. Yai Gaurangir, Namalaya, Tarahaya, Premodaya, Tare Moe, Jaya Bole Hari. Narottam Das Thakur says, I offer him all congratulations because it is certain that he has developed love of Godhead. Then he says, Gauranga Gunite Jure, Nitya Leela Tare Pure. Anyone, if he cries by hearing the transcendental qualities of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he at once understands what is the loving affair between Radha and Krishna. Nitya Leela means the pastimes or the loving exchange affairs between Radha and Krishna that is eternal, that is not temporary. We should not think that Radha Krishna's pastime, loving affairs, is just like the business of a young boy or girl as we see in this material world. Such loving affair is not at all loving affairs. They are they are lusty affairs and they are not eternal. Therefore they break. Today I am in love with somebody and next day it breaks. But Radha Krishna Leela is not like that. It is eternal. Therefore that is transcendental and this is temporary. So simply one who is absorbed in the pastime of Lord Chaitanya, he can immediately understand what is the actual position of the loving affairs of Radha and Krishna. Nitya Leela Tare Sphure. Sayyaya Radha Madhav Sayyaya Rajendra Sut Pasha. And simply by doing that, he becomes eligible to enter into the abode of Krishna, Brajendra Sutta. Brajendra Sutta means the son of Nanda Maharaj in Vrindavan. He is sure to go to associate with Krishna in his next birth. Gauranger Sange Ghane Nitya Siddha Boli Mane. Anyone who has sorry, Prabhuji, just throat infection. Anyone who has understood that the associates of Lord Chaitanya, they are not ordinary conditioned soul. They are liberated souls. Nitya Siddha Bole Mani. There are three kinds of devotees. One is called Sadhana Siddha. Sadhana Siddha means by following the regulative principle of devotional service. If one become perfect, he is called Sadhana Siddha. Another devotee is called Kripa Siddha. Kripa Siddha means even if he has not followed strictly all the regulative principles, still by the mercy of Acharya or a devotee or by Krishna, he is elevated to the perfectional stage. That is specially. And another devotee is called Nitya Siddha. Nitya Siddha means they were never contaminated. Sadhana Siddha and Kripa Siddha was contaminated by material touch. And by following regulative principle or by mercy or grace of some devotees and acharyas, they are elevated to the perfectional state. But Nitya Siddha means they were never contaminated. They are ever liberated. So all the associates of Lord Chaitanya, just like Advait Prabhu, Srivas Gadadhar, Nityananda, they are Vishnu Tattva. They are all liberated. Not only they the Goswamis. There are many others. So they are ever liberated. So one who can understand that the associates of Lord Chaitanya are ever liberated, Nitya Sita Bhale Mani, Say Jaya, Brajendra Sutta Pasha. Immediately he becomes eligible to enter into the abode of Krishna. And then he says, Ghoda Mandala Bhumi, Ye Vajani Chintamani. Yeah. The Gaur Mandala means the place in West Bengal wherein Lord Chaitanya had his pastimes. In Navadvip, during Lord Chaitanya's birth anniversary, the devotees go and circumambulate different places of Lord Chaitanya's pastime. It takes 9 days. So that portion of Bengal is called Goda Mandala. So Narottam Das Thakur says, one who understand that there is no difference between this part of the country with Vrindavan, Tara Haya Brajbhumi Vasa. It is as good as one lives in Vrindavan. Then he says, Gaura Prema Rasarnarve. Lord Chaitanya's activities is just like an ocean of love affair of Krishna. Therefore, one who takes a dip into this ocean, Gaura Prem, Rasanve, Se Tarange, Yebidube. Just like we take a dip and bath and we play sport in the waves of the ocean or sea. Similarly, one who takes pleasure taking a dip and sporting with the waves of the ocean of Lord Chaitanya's distribution of love of God, such a person becomes immediately a confidential devotee of Lord Krishna. Say Radha Madhav Antaranga. Antaranga means not ordinary devotee. They are confidential devotees. And Narottam Das Thakur says, Grahe ve vanite thake. Such devotee who is taking pleasure in the waves of Lord Chaitanya's movement because he has become a very confidential devotee of the Lord. Therefore, Narottam Das Thakur says, such devotee, it doesn't matter whether he is the renounced or order of life or whether he is householder, graha. Graha means householder. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's movement does not say that one has to become a renounced order sannyasi, just like Mayavadi sannyasis, impersonalist, Shankaracharya. They first they put the first condition that you take up the renounced order of life first and then talk of spiritual advancement. So in Shankar Sampradaya, nobody is accepted uh, as bona fide impersonalist unless he has accepted the renounced order of life. But here in Chaitanya's movement, there is no such restriction. Advait Prabhu, he was a householder. Sorry, I lost. Sorry, Prabhuji, I lost.
Advaita
Yeah,
Prabhu, he was a
Nitya.
householder. Nityananda.
Ji. Nityananda, he was a householder. Gadadhar, he was a householder. And Srivas, he was also a householder. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu also married twice. So it doesn't matter. Narottam Das Thakur says that to become in renounced order of life or to remain in householder life, that doesn't matter. If he is actually taking part in the movements of Chaitanya Sankirtan activities and actually understanding what it is, he is taking sport in the waves of such devotional ocean, then such person is always liberated. And Narottam Das Thakur is aspiring his association ever increasingly. That is the sum and substance of this song. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Arti Mataji. Anything you liked from this purport? Your voice is
Yes,
your throat.
Prabhuji, my throat is little,
Okay.
I'm not little well. Ji.
All right. Thank you so much. Yes. May the nectar of the holy name, the nectar of love of Godhead, go into your throat so that your throat can become better. Thank you so much for reading. Yes, this again reminded us of what we were reading yesterday, as Mother Devhuti is praying to her son, Lord Kapil Dev, and she's desiring transcendental knowledge. And there also Prabhupada was saying the same point, that Kiba Vipra Kiba Nyasi Shudra Keninaya Yei Krishna Tattvaveta Sei Guru Haya. So to understand, if you understand the science of Krishna consciousness as instructed by Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, then it doesn't matter whether we are a Brahmana, Kiba Vipra, Kiba Nyasi, or whether we are Sannyasi, or even if we are Shudra. Doesn't really matter whether in what varna or what ashram we are, as long as we understand the science of devotional service given by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and we just take up to this process of chanting the holy names, eating Mahaprasadam, chant, dance, and feast, as Mahaprabhu said. So just by engaging our tongue in chanting and only taking Krishna Prasad, we can be purified and we can understand the science of Krishna consciousness, and then we can also be able to preach this to others. So let's continue here. So again, the age doesn't matter, as Devhuti is saying, she is submitting to her son as a disciple submits to his master. So again, that's why in spiritual life, doesn't matter. Even a 5-year-old kid may be more advanced than a 50-year-old person, right? So we see that already live in our front of our eyes. There are many such examples, even within ISKCON, outside ISKCON also. It's like you see so many wonderful devotees who are very young in age, and there are many people who are in their 60s and 70s, and they have no taste for spiritual life, right? So physical age doesn't really matter. It's the advancement in Krishna consciousness that matters. Okay, text 8. Tasya tvam tamasondasya dushparasya paragam satchakshurjanmanam ante labdham me tvad anugrahat. Your Lordship is my only means of getting out of this darkest region of ignorance, because you are my transcendental eye, which by your mercy only I have attained after many births. This verse is very instructive, since it indicates the relationship between the spiritual master and the disciple. The disciple or conditioned soul is put into this darkest region of ignorance, and therefore is entangled in the material existence of sense gratification. It is very difficult to get out of this entanglement and attain freedom. But if one is fortunate enough to get the association of a spiritual master like Kapila Muni or his representative, then by his grace one can be delivered from the mire of ignorance. The spiritual master is therefore worshipped as one who delivers the disciple from the mire of ignorance with the light of torch of knowledge. The word paragam is very significant. Paragam refers to one who can take the disciple to the other side. This side is conditioned life. The other side is the life of freedom. The spiritual master takes the disciple to the other side by opening his eyes with knowledge. We are suffering simply because of ignorance. By the instruction of the spiritual master, the darkness of ignorance is removed, and thus the disciple is enabled to go to the side of freedom. It is stated in the Bhagavad Gita that after many births, one surrenders to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Similarly, if after many births, one is able to find a bona fide spiritual master and surrender to such a bona fide representative of Krishna, he can be taken to the side of light. The bona fide spiritual master is a true Vedantist, for he actually knows Vedanta and the Vedas and understands the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Sri Krishna. The word Veda means knowledge, and Anta means last phase. There are different types of knowledge. We are interested in ordinary knowledge for economic benefit, but that is not actual knowledge. That is the art of livelihood. One may study to be an electrician and earn his livelihood by repairing electric lines. This kind of knowledge is called Shilpa Jnana. Real knowledge, however, is the Vedic knowledge, knowing oneself, what one is, and what God is, and understanding one's relationship with God and one's duty. One who is searching after knowledge is called Jnanavan. Knowledge begins with the inquiry, Atato Brahma Jigyasa. What is Brahman? Knowledge also begins by understanding the threefold miseries of the material world, Adhyatmika, Adibhautika, and Adidaivika. We are suffering from miseries caused by other living entities and acts of nature, as well as from miseries arising from the body and mind themselves. The soul is aloof from the body and mind, but he suffers due to material contamination. We have no control over these threefold miseries. They are controlled by Krishna's maidservant, goddess Durga, who is material in nature. She is not independent of Krishna. However, she is so powerful that she can create and maintain. Prakriti, nature, can be very unkind. Mother Durga is often portrayed as chastising demons by piercing them with a trident. Those who are learned and intelligent look to the mercy of the Supreme Personality of Godhead for relief from the threefold miseries of material existence. Although this material world is nothing but darkness, people are very proud of their eyes. They are always saying, "Can you show me God?" The answer to that is, have you the eyes to see the God? Why is the emphasis placed on seeing? Certainly, God can be seen, as stated in Brahma Samhita 5.38. Premanjana Shrita Bhakti Vilochanena Santa Sadaiva Hridesha Vilokayantim. Okay. Govinda, Krishna, is always seen by the devotee whose eyes are anointed by the pulp of love. If we are devotees, lovers of God, the ointment of love will clear our eyes. In order to see God, we have to cleanse our eyes by wiping away the cataracts of material contamination. Although we may be eager to see God, we cannot see Him with these material eyes. Not only can we not see Him, but we cannot understand Him. Although His name is there, understanding God means first of all understanding His name. Therefore, from the beginning we should chant the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra. God is not different from His name. Krishna's name and Krishna's person are the same. Absolute means that Krishna's name, form, place, dress, pastimes, and everything are non-different from Him. Krishna is present in His name, but because we have no love for Him, we cannot see Him. Sanatana Goswami was a great learned scholar, and he was called a Pandit, which indicates that he was a learned Brahmana. When Sanatana Goswami approached Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he said, "The people in my neighborhood are calling me a Pandita, and I am very unhappy because of this." Chaitanya Mahaprabhu asked, "Why are you dissatisfied?" Sanatana Goswami replied, "I am such a poor Pandit that I do not even know the goal of life. I do not even know what is beneficial for me. I am simply being carried away by sense gratification." In this way, Sanatana Goswami approached Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He did not approach him to get some gold or some medicine. He went to find out his real self-interest. This is the real purpose for approaching a guru. Okay, let's pause here. Yes, so again by reading this we understand what is the real purpose of our life, who we are, who Lord is, what our relationship, right? Sambandha, Abhideya and Prayojan, the SAP of our spiritual life. So we have to understand what our relationship with the Lord is, and how we act in that relationship. That is the Abhideya, the process of devotional service as given by Sri Rupa Goswami. And then what is the P for Prayojan? So Sambandha is the relationship, A is the Abhideya, the process, and then P is the Prem Prayojan. So Sambandha, we say Krishna. Sambandha with whom? Relationship with whom? With Krishna. Krishna Sambandha. Abhideya is what? Abhideya is Bhakti, the process of devotional service. And P for Prem is the Prayojan. Prayojan is the goal. What is the goal? Goal is Krishna Prem. So Prem Prayojan. So Krishna Sambandha, Bhakti Abhideya, Prem Prayojan. So we have to follow this principle in our lives. And yeah, we see again this material world, it's all filled with all miseries, right? Adi Devik, Adi Bhautik, and Adhyatmik. Adi Devik is natural calamities that happen, that come in forms of tsunamis, earthquakes, famines, floods, right? And then Adi Bhautik is caused by other living entities, right? So right now we see all around our world so much of, just by looking at some of these videos of the war going on between Israel and Iran, we can see all kinds of miseries. Yesterday I was looking at a video, they're having not just missiles, but now they're having like cluster bombs, and like the bombs are falling from the sky. Like, it's just terrifying to see what's going on in that part of the world. So again, what did those people do? There may be poor small kids there, who have absolutely done nothing wrong in their lives. They're just probably born now, maybe few weeks, few months old, right? But bombs are falling right on top of their, homes and land. So it's just terrifying. And so this is all Adi Bhautik, things that, like Prabhupada is saying here, it's not in our control. But there is something that we have done in our past, so that's coming back in our lives, in our current life as karma. But still, from our standpoint, our dharma is to always be caring and compassionate. As a Vaishnava, is para dukkha dukhi. A Vaishnava is always saddened when he sees sufferings of others, right? So that's why Prabhupada always says that, we should give this knowledge to others, because all of us are in ignorance, and only by reading by our Shastras, by hearing these instructions from a bona fide representative of the Lord, we can see the light of knowledge and we can get out of this material world which is full of darkness. So yesterday also we were reading about darkness, and it was said that tamasima jyotirgamaya, from darkness we have to move towards light, spiritual light, and that light is the spiritual light coming from Krishna's body himself. And spiritual knowledge is that light, and the spiritual master is the one who brings that torchlight of knowledge in our lives. So this whole week we have been remembering the Lord by virtue of Rasoham Apsukanteya, that Krishna says, I am the taste of water, right? So while drinking water, we have been remembering the Lord. We have been chanting Hare Krishna Maha Mantra. So this, starting today from Wednesday to next Tuesday, one more week, we can take up another remembrance activity as the next part of that particular shloka from Bhagavad Gita, where Krishna says that Prabhasmi Shashi Surya Yoho. Prabha means I am the light. Prabha Asmi, I am the light of Shashi. Shashi is the moon and Surya is the sun. So when we go out today in the morning to our work, to our school, to our job, to our school, college, wherever we are going, as soon as we step out, when we see the rising sun in the morning, feel the warmth of the sun. During the day, when we take a walk, when we come out into the light from our offices, which are dark, there is absolutely no natural light these days in the offices, like Prabhupada was saying, and when Prabhupada Lilamrita, when we were reading, people are working in dungeons, like, caves, right? There's only artificial light inside of most of the offices. There are not even windows these days in many of the offices, so it's very, very crazy. But yeah, when we step outside from our office during the lunch break, during our evening when we are returning, just looking at the light outside, we should remember the Lord. Just close our eyes, or not even close our eyes, but just chant one Hare Krishna Maha Mantra, thanking the Lord for giving us this light of both the physical light of the sun as well as the light of knowledge through our acharyas. So that should be our meditation for this week. Prabha Asmi Shashi Surya Yoho. And in the night also, when the sun sets, we'll have the beautiful moon giving its moon rays, or even if the moon, right now the moon is waning moon, but it will go back into becoming a waxing moon within this week, so it's perfect timing. So yeah, we see the moon, we see the stars in the sky, in the night sky. We can remember the Lord as Prabhasmi Shashi Surya Yoho, and we can chant one Hare Krishna Maha Mantra, because this world is a miserable place, but if we are in the company of the spiritual master's instructions, of Srila Prabhupada's instructions, by reading these books, by sharpening our intelligence, then even this world becomes Vaikuntha. Wherever the devotee resides, that becomes Vaikuntha. So Durga Devi, as Prabhupada is saying, has a trident in her hand, right? So those three miseries that we talked about, Adi Devik, Adi Bhautik, and Adhyatmik, those are like the trident of Durga. So in one way she is chastising the demons, but in another way it is also a warning sign for all of us as devotees that we have to get out of these miseries, the threefold miseries plus the four, so totally 7 miseries: birth, death, old age, and disease, right? So that is also there. So those 3 plus 4, 7 miseries. But anyway, the trident of Durga reminds us that this world is full of these threefold miseries, and it's an indication for us to get out of this world. And in the spiritual world, as Prabhupada is saying, the other side is the light. From darkness, we have to go into the light, and that side of the world, the Lord, both Radha Krishna, as we're reading today, they are holding Srimati Radharani and Krishna, like they always have garlands of flowers in their hands. So they are holding garlands for all their devotees to come back home, back to Godhead, so that they can welcome us back home, back to Godhead. So that should be our prayer to the Lord, that may our consciousness always be absorbed in the remembrance of the Lord through His holy name, because His holy name is not different from Shri Krishna. You just have to utter the holy name. Like it's another example Acharyas give, like, say, for example, if you are walking on the road and, there is some dog that is chasing you, right? And you know that this dog is your friend's dog, for example, right? So what would you do? I mean, the dog is chasing you, you're running, the dog is chasing you, you're running, but you know that this is your friend's dog. So immediately you will call out your friend's name, right? You'll say, hey, whatever your friend's name is, see, this dog is running after me. So immediately if your friend comes and he says to the dog, hey, Tommy, come back, sit, right? Immediately the dog will stop and it will come back and sit, right? So like that. So if we call out through the holy names to the Lord. The Lord is our eternal friend, eternal well-wisher, right? Shri Krishna is our eternal friend. So if we call out Krishna's name through the Mahamantra, then the dog, like Maya Devi in this example, it's not a perfect analogy, but again, this is given by Acharyas, that, just like Durga Devi is controlling this universe, controlling deity of this world, immediately Maya Devi, because like we say, Jaha Krishna, taha nahi Maya Radhikar. Krishna Surisam, Maya hai Andhakar, Jaha Krishna, taha nahi Maya Radhikar. So when Krishna's name comes, then immediately Maya Devi will stop. So right, so Maya, because she is under the control of Krishna. So we have to have that firm faith that when we chant the Hare Krishna Mahamantra, we are calling out to our eternal friends, Shri Radha and Krishna. And as soon as we call out their names, Maya Devi will stop its influence on our lives. So that is the prayer. Okay, wonderful. Thank you so much for everybody's kind association this morning. Anybody would like to say, share anything, any reflections from remembrance of the Lord in the past week? And is everybody eager and everybody okay to reflect on the light of the sun and the moon and remember Shri Krishna and chant Hare Krishna Mahamantra? Show by raise of your hands, or you can unmute and speak. Thank you, Meena Mataji, Nakshi Mohini. Okay. Hopefully others also will participate. So we look forward to hearing your reflections, realizations. If anybody would like to say anything, share anything, during the week, whenever you are comfortable, please unmute and we can discuss. Okay, thank you so much. We'll end here for today. Vanchakalpatarubhyascha kripasindubhyevacha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Anantakoti Vaishnavindi ki jai. Jagadguru Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Jai.
Teachings of Lord Kapila Muni ki jai. Nitai Gaur Premanande.
Hari
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 Hari.
Bol.
Hare
Hare
Bol,
Krishna.
Hare
Thank you,
Krishna.
Prabhuji. Have a great day, everyone. Hare Krishna.